The video you're about to watch is Patreon supported by people such as Amanda Guth, Cashinator, and Rami Batter. Thank you. Ever since I made that top 10 worst Kirby powers 3 years ago, yes, I'm serious, it was that long ago. Closer to 4, in fact. Feel old yet? I've had a lot of you request I do a top 10 best powers. And yeah, I suppose that would be the natural progression. There's a few things I'd change about the worst list. In fact, it might be fun to revisit that at some point. But for now, I've played a jack ton of Kirby in preparation for this video, and today, I'm here to bring you the best of the best. I thought it would also be fun and resourceful to determine the entries on this list on 4 factors: accessibility, versatility, power, and last but certainly not least, fun factor. What do I mean by these 4 things? Well, accessibility. How easily can you get the ability? Is the ability obtained through an uncommon enemy like the ninja? Or is it something like Paracel, where it's so common that even deadly cannons carry one around? Accessibility is important, because there are powers like Master from Amazing Mirror, which are hype as f***, but you only have access to them after you beat the game, so all of a sudden, Master doesn't seem all too useful in the long run. Versatility. In how many situations is the ability actually helpful? Can you easily hit your target? Is the ability a one-time use? Powers such as Circus are definitely both fun and common to use, but unless the enemy is directly above you, you don't have a whole lot of options unless you want to risk hurting yourself by getting up close and personal. Being able to hit the enemy comfortably no matter where they are positioned relative to you is of course very helpful. Power. Self-explanatory, how powerful is that ability? There are some abilities such as laser that give you pretty solid range, but the power doesn't damage for crap, so it's not something you're going to want to use 24/7. Finally, and most importantly, fun. How fun is the ability to use? I think you'd struggle to find someone who would actually regard Kirby as a hard game. Due to this, I find many players, including myself, opting out to choose abilities they think are fun, opposed to abilities they think are actually optimal. This being the case, every category will be rated on a scale of 5, with the exception of fun, which will be rated out of 10, adding for a total of 25 points. Because I mean, hey, that's the most important part of a Kirby game, right? Not that they're necessarily challenging games, but because they're satisfying to play. With all of that out of the way, let's jump into this. Hey, I'm SilokHawk, and this is the top 10 best Kirby powers. Doctor. What a terribly ironically named ability. With the Doctor ability, you beat the crap out of everyone! You know, a doctor. Nothing says get well soon like an oversized clipboard to the face. And yes, smashing a clipboard into someone's face is an actual thing you can do in a Kirby game. Again, just like real doctors. I mean, geez, even Dr. Mario is a better doctor than Kirby is. And we're talking about a guy who literally shoves hundreds of pills down someone's throat until they supposedly get better. Or die. Because why would you think that would be an okay thing to do? You know, it's astonishing Kirby even has friends at all when his idea of being a doctor is just beating up even more people. I mean, to be fair, I guess his friends also needlessly beat people up. Dude, Kirby games are messed up. Doctor is undoubtedly one of the most unique powers we've seen in a Kirby game. Whether you're throwing pills or Crash Bandicooting bandages, the moves at your disposal are pretty dang creative, and even decently powerful. The biggest problem with Doctor, however, is its versatility. Most of these attacks require you to stand completely stationary. Even Doctor's most interesting move, which sees Kirby cooking up some explosives in his meth lab, requires you to not only stand completely still for a good second or two, but it only provides coverage around or above Kirby. So Doctor is best reserved for a boss rush if you plan to use it optimally. But come on. Any power that lets you smack someone in the face of a clipboard is deserving to be on the list for that alone. Kirby might be a terrible doctor, but Doctor is far from a terrible power. Archer. Archer wasn't even going to be on the list until I was told it was the favorite ability of one of my peeps on the SilokHawk Discord. I overlooked the ability when I first played through Triple Deluxe, but after replaying the game to give Archer another go, I think I might have been too quick to judge with this one. For a ranged attack, Archer is pretty damn strong. Not as strong as all of the other abilities on the list, but again, for a heavily projectile-focused power, this is basically as good as it gets. The thing that really makes Archer even half as good as it is though, is the camouflage ability. Simply just hold down, and you are now completely impervious to most all attacks. Really, that's it. No combo or anything, just press down.
That was easy.
There's a bit of waiting around that naturally goes on with the ability, which makes Archer a little less entertaining than some of the other powers, but I can't deny its strengths. If you're more concerned about survival and have more patience than me, which granted isn't too difficult of a task, then Archer is just the power you're looking for. Ghost. Ghost is getting set back hard by that 1 out of 5 accessibility, which is a shame, because as we'll get to in a sec, Ghost might be one of the most fun abilities there is. Not necessarily good, but fun all the same. But what's going on with that one? Well, Ghost is only available to you once you collect all 7 Ghost medals located throughout your adventure in Squeak Squad. And one of those bad boys is all the way in World 8, so needless to say, it's not something you can start using right away. But once you assemble that medallion, oh boy are you in for a treat. As we all know, the major allure to Kirby ever since the introduction of copy abilities is the access to the moveset used by a large number of enemies. Emphasis on large number. Not every enemy in Kirby grants you a power. So if you're dying to try out Waddle Dee's game-breaking strategy of daintily walking around with his arms in the air, you're out of luck. That is, unless you nab Ghost. With the exception of bosses, you can go up to any baddie of your liking and take control of them, now able to make use of Waddle Dee's highly revered Waddle powers. While not particularly useful in any regard, going around and playing with all the different moves of the various enemies encountered during your adventure has a major allure to it. Mario over here getting all the street cred for his quote-unquote innovative ability to possess enemies of Cappy, but the proof is right here. Kirby did it first. Spear. I don't care what anyone says. Spear is freaking amazing. Most powers either have a focus on range or melee-centric moves. However, with Spear, you get both. Spear not only makes for a great stabbing tool, but you can also stab people from long range. That's like twice the stabbing, or like 100 times the stabbing. Jesus Christ, Kirby, calm down. And let us not forget, there is a spear move that is quite literally called Spear Copter. And yes, you can use it to go. UFO. UFO has been a fan favorite ever since copy abilities were even a thing. What is there to say? It's just straight up good. UFO lets you move in any direction you like with ease, and with speed. Pair that with the fact that UFO has giant lasers. In an already easy game, just got even easier. The power is set back by 2 major things though. One, and most obvious, UFO is not exactly the most common power. Let's put it this way. UFO is so damn fun, yet so rare, that you're basically going to end up remembering which levels have it, just so you can get to that point in the stage and nab it again. And 2, there is a terrible evil all throughout the vistas of Dreamland. Something so unspeakably wicked that even UFO doesn't stand a chance. What is this night terror, you ask? Ladders. You can't go down ladders with UFO. I don't know why. You just can't. If you're playing a stage that requires you to go down a ladder, well then it sucks to suck because you're f***ed. Say goodbye to what is generally accepted to be the most OP power in just about every Kirby game it's in. So yeah, that's a pretty big drawback. But if you can circumvent those evil ladders, you got yourself one hell of a power. Sword. Arguably one of Kirby's most iconic powers, also happens to be one of his best. Sword is always a safe bet to grab because not only is the sword ability everywhere, but it's very powerful and fast. Not to mention versatile actually, for a sword anyway. You're obviously not going to get much range on this thing. That being said, Sword has a surprising number of different attacks. Even in Kirby's Adventure, where nearly every ability only had 1 attack, Sword was one of the only 3 abilities that actually had more. Considering Sword can cut ropes, be used underwater, and can be elementally fused with both Squeak Squad and Star Allies, Sword is an easy choice for one of the best powers in all situations. If cosplaying as Link has this many perks, then it's a good idea to grab this power whenever you can. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Grab Sword in any Kirby game that isn't Squeak Squad, because anytime you decide to use Sword in that game, it graces you with this sound. Ow! Why? Why did anyone think this was okay? Ow! Smash. If you look at many of the older Kirby games, you will spot many things that eventually became the catalyst for Smash Bros. I mean, really. It should go without saying that a lot of Smash's inspiration and even mechanics have been pulled from Kirby. That being said, there's something I find funny about there being a Smash power in Kirby. The Kirby series was invaluable to the development of Smash, and now the very series Kirby inspired is being represented in Kirby. For all those unfamiliar, the Smash ability gives Kirby his moveset from Smash Bros., making it one of the most versatile powers in the series. You have a multitude of attacks that all maintain different traits. You can cut ropes, stomp pegs, and destroy metal blocks. The downside? Smash, much like UFO, is decently rare. Even then, it only appears in 2 games. Well, 3 if you count Dream Collection on Wii, but that's just a collection of Kirby games, so it doesn't count. What's even cooler though, is that in Amazing Mirror, you actually get the ability from Master Hand. That's some cool fan service. Now only if you could use the Smash power in the Smash Bros. Inspired game mode, Kirby Fighters. We could have gone full circle in this one. Hammer. Oh damn, it's hammer time. Much like Sword, Hammer is a safe bet in every Kirby game it's in because not only is it not too rare, but it's one hell of a powerhouse ability. Hammer is notorious for being one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful, ability in every Kirby title it's appeared in. I mean hell, even the flavor text for Squeak Squad reads Instant KO. It's almost unfair. Yeah. But I don't care. Because this game was unfair from the start when Waddle Dee started using his coveted waddle powers. He's a menace and he must be stopped. Ah! Oh my god, that was a close one. He almost walked some more. Poison. I'm sure some of you are scratching your head at this one, but I'm here to defend this underrated gem. I wasn't sold on the power the first time I played through Robobot, but it was when I was trying to complete the ridiculously challenging True Arena mode, I realized just how good Poison is. So, what makes it so great? Well, in short, Poison is basically just a deadlier version of the water ability. But why don't we do a quick rundown of the attacks? By pressing B or down and B, Kirby can throw sticky toxins. Not only will these poison their target, but you can use these attacks to splash the ground, and the effect will linger, damaging any enemy who dares step foot in it. Keep a note of this, because pretty much all of Poison's moves will linger in some form. Holding up and B will shoot out a toxic tower of sludge above Kirby, which can deal some very nice consecutive damage if you keep a boss in your line of fire, which is made even easier because you can aim it. Holding B without holding a direction will release a giant toxic cloud, which will also linger and deal damage anytime an enemy is in it. Then there's a toxic slide, which is probably the defining move of Poison. Performed by pressing B while dashing, it will cause Kirby to ride a wave of poison. It propels you forward, greatly damages its target, leaves poison on the ground, and gives you invincibility frames when you use it. And for good measure, did I mention you can use Poison as a melee attack? Because you can. Now in one fell swoop, let me demonstrate how great Poison really is. Throw Poison on the ground, spit a poison cloud directly above it, then attack straight through the enemy while they walk through all that chaos. That's 3 sources of damage, all being applied simultaneously. And as they say,
that's a lot of damage!
Poison is a terribly overlooked ability in Robobot. If you give it a shot, however, I think you'll find that Poison is one of the best abilities there is. Alright, before we get to number 1, here's a list of some honorable mentions. Mirror, which used to be fantastic in Superstar, but unfortunately has been nerfed in terms of strength in more recent entries. Also, they changed the hat. Why the f did they change the hat? There was nothing wrong with the hat! Fighter, a respectably powerful and fun ability. Its one weakness, however, is its versatility. As strong as Fighter is, most all Fighter's attacks are very short range. Beetle, an extremely useful power if you're just running through a level. Unfortunately, you can't stab and pick up bosses as you can standard enemies, cutting back on some of its utility during boss fights. Spider, another fun ability, but given it's only just been added in the most recent Kirby game, and one of the easiest at that, it's hard to say how good Spider will be in the long run. ESP, really good, but let's be honest. While the power is optimal for bosses, it's just not that much fun standing in one place while you slowly move a circle around. And lastly, Magic. Not to get confused with that awful roulette wheel in Amazing Mirror. The version of Magic in Squeak Squad is what Magic should have been from the start. And now, with those out of the way, it is time for... What do you want from me? I'm sorry, but I freaking love this power! I know it's not the most powerful of abilities, but I'd be lying to myself if I said it wasn't one of the most enjoyable to use. And after all, is that not the most important part of Kirby? Besides, what Yoyo lacks in power, it makes up in range. Yoyo has some of the best area coverage of all copy abilities. Also, it's one of the quickest. And are you really gonna tell me Yoyo isn't amazing when you can use it to breakdance? Or walk the dog? You can walk around a yo-yo to kill people. Don't you tell me that isn't amazing? You can strangle someone with the string and sumo toss them over your head. And Star Ally specifically, Yoyo is also a strong power given its range, especially when you combine that junk with electricity. Just look at this. That's amazing. Yoyo is amazing. Concluded. I'm done. Okay, we're done. See you all in a year.
Alright, sorry I'm late. I was in a really intense game of Hungry Hippos.
Kermit, the video is over.
But I just got here.
Yeah, well, that sucks, doesn't it?
You're lost. Nobody wants to watch a SilokHawk video about me. Or should I say SilokHawk? Get it? Because I said cock instead of hawk?
Yes, you've already... Okay, bye!
Ah!
Hey, thanks for watching. I'd like to give a shout out to some of my patrons, such as Abby Knutson, Q, Praetorian Mars, Robbie Batter, Amanda Guth, and Cashinator. Thank you all so much. As a quick update, the Patreon pledges have been changed back to monthly because I do plan to start uploading more than once a month now. So if you'd like to help support the show, there will be a link below. But for everyone else, thank you for watching, and until next time, have a good one.